Have you ever wondered how that intense, pervasive fear of becoming obsolete in the face of, rapid AI automation might actually be the very thing holding you back from living richly?
It's a huge question. And that anxiety is absolutely everywhere right now.
It is. You look at the headlines, you see these massive job cuts, and you just feel this sudden icy panic about your own future.
Exactly, because the changes aren't theoretical anymore, they're corporate strategy. We're looking at a world that feels incredibly competitive, where entire job categories are just vanishing, almost overnight.
But what if that fear, that focus on competition and scarcity, what if that's the trap?
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
What if that's precisely what prevents prosperity?
So today we are taking a deep dive into this. We're looking at the starkest recent evidence, these reports on AI-driven layoffs, and we're stacking that hard modern data against the timeless, frankly, radically optimistic principles in the science of getting rich.
Our mission here is really simple. It's to move you beyond reacting to that feeling of scarcity, of competition, and instead equip you with a proactive, fundamentally creative strategy.
A new way of thinking.
A new way of operating. We're aiming to uncover what the book calls the certain way, to advance, to find stability and growth, even when the entire industrial landscape feels chaotic.
Okay, so let's frame this challenge. Let's unpack the numbers we have from the source material, because the scale of this shift is, well, staggering.
It really is.
We saw a report about this AI tipping point, and it zeroed in on the consulting giant, Accenture. Get this, between May and August of 2025, just 90 days.
90 days.
They reduced their global headcount by over 11,000 employees.
That number alone is shocking, but the financial decision behind it, that's what really reveals the new corporate playbook for the AI age.
Tell us about that.
Well, Accenture took a massive $865 million restructuring charge to make this happen, and crucially, severance costs alone were $615 million for those 11,000 workers.
Wow. So that's an average of about $56,000 per person. That's nearly $1 billion spent just to accelerate a workforce overhaul. This is a small-time cost-cutting.
Not at all. This is a decisive, long-term operational declaration. It shows they prioritize AI efficiency, even if it costs them a full quarter's profit up front. It's a huge vote of confidence that this is the future.
And the CEO, Julie Sweet, her conclusion was pretty blunt.
It was brutal and strategic. She basically said that for many of these positions, reskilling is not a viable path for the skills we need. That sets a really clear and frankly chilling precedent for the entire white-collar world.
So if reskilling isn't on the table, what kind of jobs are we talking about? What was deemed obsolete so fast?
The roles they targeted were things like types of project management, data analysis, and manual QA jobs.
Okay, so why those specifically?
Because they're highly deterministic, they're routine, they're based on predictable, repetitive inputs and outputs. And that's exactly what large language models and automation are perfectly suited to handle. At a scale and speed humans just can't match.
So that perfectly explains why that survey showed 71% of Americans are worried that AI could permanently eliminate jobs.
The fear is real because the changes are immediate, they're deep, and they're being financially validated by investors who see this AI substitution as essential for growth.
So here's the pivot point. If the competitive world is shrinking, how does the science of getting rich tell us to respond?
We have to start with the foundation, chapter 1. The right to be rich.
Right.
The core argument is radical. It's that it's not just acceptable to desire riches, it is actually impossible to live a truly complete life, mind, soul, and body without having plenty of money and things for your own development.
So the desire for wealth isn't greedy, it's praiseworthy because it's really a desire for a richer, fuller life.
Exactly. But now let's bring that back to the anxiety of those 11,000 layoffs. This is where we see the trap, the competitive mindset. Chapter 10 of the book tells us you cannot hold a clear vision of wealth if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures. You have to put poverty and all things that pertain to poverty completely behind you.
That sounds incredibly hard to do though, right? I mean, the news is full of these reports. The impulse for any informed person is to study the problem, to research the threat, the shrinking job market.
And that's the necessary challenge. The book doesn't advise ignorance, it advises against focus.
Okay, that's a key distinction.
It is, because studying the problem, the scarcity, the competition, that's what stops the creative movement in its tracks. You're explicitly warned against obsessing over pessimistic news because that embeds the idea that supply is limited.
So the affirmation, the focus has to be internal.
Precisely. You have to get rid of the idea that supply is limited. the book says, never look at the visible supply. Look always at the limitless riches in formless substance.
I love that. So the Accenture report is all about the visible supply, 11,000 jobs gone.
Right.
But the SGR demands we focus on the boundless, formless substance that just created the need for a $5.1 billion generative AI market. It proves there's always more to be created.
And that leads us straight to the creative method. The universe desires more life for everyone. If you get rich by the competitive method, by fighting for one of those shrinking jobs, it just creates a godless scramble.
But the creative method?
The creative method means you create wealth in a way that when you get it, every other person has more than they had before.
So the AI tipping point is actually forcing us out of these old competitive roles, but it's also proving that expansion like Accenture's massive new AI revenue is still happening at warp speed.
Yes, we just have to choose to be on the creative side of that expansion. And that choice starts internally. It starts by defining what you want.
Right.
To address the skills scramble, the first step, especially in a chaotic environment like this, is to form a clear, definite mental picture, a vision of what you want to have, do, or become.
So it's not enough to just say, I want a new safe job. It has to be more specific.
Much more. It should be something like, I want a career using agentic AI design skills in this new market, providing strategic value that increases the life of my clients and allows me to create wealth. You're defining the new creation.
And the book says the proper use of the will is only upon yourself.
Only upon yourself. To keep thinking and acting in that certain way. You close your mind to the doubts, to the fearful news reports that try to dim that vision.
That's such a key point. You don't rage against the big companies in the system. The book says that just drops you right back into the competitive scarcity mindset. It's a waste of creative energy.
And the best way to help those affected by automation is simply to prove this principle works. To get rich yourself through the creative method. You demonstrate the possibility.
Okay, this is all great, but it can feel a bit way. High level, philosophical. For the listener who's sitting in their job right now, maybe one of those project management roles that's a target, how do we make this practical? How do we turn vision into action?
Okay, this is where we get into 3 deeply practical strategies from the book. Let's start with strategy 1, efficient action.
Efficient action.
Yes, thought and vision alone will fail. You have to act. You must do all that can be done today where you are and do each act in a successful, efficient manner.
I remember reading that part and feeling a bit confused. It says, do all you can do, but also not to overwork or rush blindly. How do we define efficiency here, especially when AI is speeding everything up?
The contradiction disappears when you realize it's not about the number of things you do, it's about the efficiency and the leverage of each single action.
Okay.
So an inefficient act today is spending 3 hours manually compiling a report that an AI could summarize in 90 seconds. An efficient act is using those 90 seconds to leverage the AI and then spending the time you save developing a human skill that AI can't replicate.
So efficient action now means maximizing leverage, focusing your human time on high-value, creative tasks that align with your vision.
That's it. You're moving away from the deterministic tasks that automation is designed to take over. That's the difference between frantic, competitive scrambling and purposeful, focused action.
All right, let's move to strategy number 2, the impression of increase.
This is critical for anyone who feels trapped in their current role. You have to convey the impression of increase to everyone you deal with, your boss, clients, colleagues.
And why is that so important?
Because the deepest impulse in human nature is the desire for increase. More life, more knowledge. You attract opportunity by giving more in use value than you receive in cash value.
But how does a mid-level project manager do that, knowing their role is on the chopping block?
The increase they deliver is future value. If you were a QA tester whose job was just cut, the increase you give now isn't better manual testing. It's teaching your remaining colleagues how to use prompt engineering to get 10x the output.
So you're giving the gift of AI literacy. You're increasing their capacity.
You're positioning yourself as the creative expert in the new field. You're operating as what the book calls an advancing man, radiating the conviction that you're aligned with the future, not clinging to the past.
You become too big for your place.
Precisely. You prove you're aligned with creative solutions, not competitive struggle. Which brings us to our affirmation. I am aligned with creative solutions, not competitive struggle.
Perfect. Okay, strategy number 3, gratitude and faith. How does a seemingly soft skill like this help when the threat of job loss feels so real.
Gratitude is like a mental frequency adjuster. Cultivating deep gratitude for what you already have keeps your mind in harmony with that creative energy. It strengthens your faith.
You can't be grateful and fearful at the same time.
Exactly. You're looking at what is coming into being, not what is vanishing.
And what if your plan fails? What if my AI upskilling effort doesn't immediately lead to that perfect new role?
Then you have to realize that the apparent failure might be an unseen influence preparing you for something much better. The elimination of the old path is just clearing the way for the higher level vision you've already defined.
So you trust the process. That's the ultimate affirmation of self-trust, isn't it? I am ready to develop the talent required for my desired life.
Absolutely. You don't need the ability right now. You just need the vision and the faith that the ability will be furnished when you need it.
So let's synthesize this paradox one last time. The AI landscape, proven by Accenture's pivot, shows traditional roles are expiring. That causes anxiety.
Massive anxiety.
But at the same time, Accenture's $5.1 billion in new AI bookings prove the unstoppable power of creation and expansion.
The crisis for the competitive worker is an unbelievable opportunity for the creative thinker. The competitive mind sees 11,000 layoffs and reads the headline, scarcity.
But the creative mind?
The creative mind sees the $5.1 billion market and realizes the path is now wide open to align with that expansive force. You're choosing to see the world as a place of infinite wealth, not limited supply.
So the real question for you, listening right now, is how will you apply these principles of clarity, purpose, and creative, efficient action today, right now, to transform the pressure of this AI tipping point into your personal springboard toward opulence?
And remember, as you move forward, don't hesitate for fear that you lack ability. The ability you need to succeed will be furnished when the time comes. You just need to keep moving forward in full faith and purpose, because in the grand scheme of creation, as the book assures us, all power cannot fail.